The Boogeyman, the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, useful Valorant tips you've heard online. Do you know what all these things have in common? They're all myths. Yes, that's right. A lot of online sources out there have tips in them that don't really tell the whole story. What ends up happening is that these tips usually lead lower ranked players in the wrong direction. And if you never acknowledge these myths, then you're just going to be making bad habits and never end up improving. So today, we're going to debunk some common tips that you hear all the time. Let's get started. To start off this list of myths, let's tackle this myth. If an agent isn't meta, you shouldn't lock them when trying to rank up. This, my friends, is beyond false. And it bewilders me that in some of these tier lists that I watch, people are calling agents unplayable on certain maps and must picks on others. The fact that someone sits down and tells you all about what they think is right in the meta is just weird to me. You should pick Sova on Icebox. He's S tier. Viper is super good on almost every map. She's S++ tier. Don't pick Cypher. He doesn't have an op that shoots as fast as a Marshal. He's T tier. All of these tier lists don't matter and should be put in the garbage. You should be playing whoever you feel most comfortable with on whatever map you want. Want to play Sky on Icebox? Sova on Fracture? Omen on Breeze? Yoru on Haven? Go for it. A lot of these tier lists tell you that some agents are straight up unplayable. But that's not the case. As a matter of fact, playing with off-meta agents might even give you an upper hand. By doing so, this gives you the element of surprise, as people aren't used to dealing with certain things on certain maps. Here, take a look at this abomination of a comp from Paper Rex. They're a professional Valorant team from Singapore. Have you ever seen anything like this? Neon, Yoru, Breach, Fade, and Astra. Watch this execute and you tell me how to prepare for something like this. Astra Wall, plus your Gravity Well, plus Neon's relay bolts. How are you supposed to hold the site? Not only that, but when FPX finally starts the retake, they have to deal with so much spam coming from B main. Especially with an Odin, it's not easy to defuse. Now I get it, this is a pro team. You won't find this coordination in your ordinary rank games, but you could still run whatever agent you want on any map. There were even a few games a long time ago where M3C ran Sova on Split. They're another professional team. Anyone who's telling you that an agent is unplayable on certain maps is someone who either isn't creative or can't adapt. Now here's our next myth. You should always play with the duo. Well, I hate to break it to you, but playing with your duo might not be the best thing for you. Other people tell you that if you want to rank up, that you usually want to find someone to play with. By playing with a friend, you'll lessen the chance of you encountering a troll or a bad teammate. I mean, that makes sense, right? Well, this is where you're going to have to reevaluate your friendships and ask yourself, are my friends really good for me? A long time ago when I was stuck in gold, I had 2 or 3 friends that I used to queue with every day. They knew I was trying to get better and better, but we would never rank up. Well, one of my friends eventually told me, hey Teets, we're just going to play this game for fun, and if you really want to rank up, you probably want to find someone who takes this as serious as you do. From then on, I was able to focus on myself. I made some new friends with the same mindset as me, and I slowly started ranking up. Not only that, but you also want to eliminate negative people from your life. Negative Nancys can make you worse as a player and tank your elo harder than some randoms would. One of my friends I used to do it with would question me all the time. How did you lose that? Bro, how did you whiff that shot? How did you not win that? These questions would make my blood boil. I would tilt, I'd D-rank, I'd fight with him, and then I'd lose the game. Here's an excerpt from this Forbes article called, Surrounding Yourself with the Right People Changes Everything. You should give it a read, as it describes a perfect duo. Link in the description. I'll read you an excerpt. It says, life is hard enough. We don't always win, and there will always be obstacles and naysayers along our path to success. During those times, nothing feels better than having someone you can share your fears and doubts with. Friends and mentors that not only listen, but also cheer you on to be the best you can be. Get back in there and do better. You can do it. They give you energy and help you propel forward. Find and focus on relationships with those who can share their wins and positive vibes and help you realize that you can do the same. Life is just too short for the negativity. You need to have a duo that isn't blaming teammates, isn't tilting, and wants to actually get better. So at the end of the day, having your duo is nice and all, but you have to ask yourself, are they really making me a better person? Speaking of what's best for you, you should try and find people who always have your back, not just a duo. Well, we at SkillCapped are them. That's our job. We create world-class courses based around questions and topics you have and help you guys rank up quicker. And we're the only service that'll give you your money back if you don't improve while using us. That's just how confident we are. So if you need a community that strives to improve together, come give us a shot. We'll be waiting. Our third myth is, you shouldn't play certain agents if you don't know lineups for them. Again, this is a brain dead take. Everywhere you go on YouTube, all you see are lineup videos upon lineup videos upon lineup videos. It's to the point to where people won't play certain agents because they don't know their lineups. Hey, I can't play Sova. I don't know lineups for him. I don't know where this thought process started from, but this doesn't even make sense. Agents like Viper, Fade, Sova, all have some ridiculous lineups, don't get me wrong. And if you put in the time in a custom game, I'm sure you could find something special. But this doesn't mean that you need to learn lineups in order to play these agents. For example, if you want to learn how to play Fade, lock her in for a few games and just try her out. Her haunt works so that anything below it in its radius gets tagged. So just eyeball it and throw it on top of a wall as your team is executing. Sova, his recon darts are just small and hard to shoot, so just rip one on the wall as your team is going in. This makes it so the enemy team has to turn around and shoot it. Even in Immortal or Radiant lobbies, the simplest darts and haunts will get value. If you're playing Viper or Brimstone, you don't need molly lineups to play them. Either just be in line of sight of the spike, or just use it to stall the enemy's retake. Like if you're playing on Bind, you could use your mollies to hold lamps control for the extra amount of time. Just because you have stall potential, it doesn't mean that you have to throw it at the spike. And if you're a lower rank, I wouldn't even worry about molly lineups. If you're diamond or below, you should still be focusing on key fundamentals of the game. Things like trading, communication, defaulting, or lurking are so much more valuable than learning how to stall a defuse from another planet. Anyone can go into a custom game, look straight up, and guesstimate how far or how close they need to look in order to hit the spike. But not everyone has polished fundamentals. Alright, for myth number 4, let's find out. You should always try and work with your teammates no matter what. This, my friends, is also false. A lot of guides, even ours, try and hammer home how important this concept is. You should always be trying to make plans with your teammates, work together and play off each other. But sometimes this just isn't possible. You're going to meet a lot of interesting people in your games, and you need to know how to deal with people who simply just don't want to work together. For example, I was playing Fade on Ascent a while ago, and I had a Raze on my team. I asked my Raze if she wants to combo our Cs and paint shells together outside of A main. She told me, "No man, just leave me alone." I asked, "Are you sure?" The next round, and this wasn't a good idea, because his next sentence was, "If you talk to me again, I promise I will throw this game." Now, I'm not a psychology major, but I could tell this guy didn't want to be bothered, so I just decided to make plays on my own. One round I decided to use my haunt as the enemy team came in and spray them through a smoke. The next round I decided to prowler my chamber up B main to get early map control. So despite trying to work with my team, sometimes you're just going to have to call it quits. Or in other cases, you're going to have to understand when your teammates are just incapable of doing things. A while back, I did a guide talking about Reyna and why you shouldn't pick her. In it, I had to ask my teammates for utility, and it didn't work that well. Here, watch these clips.
Here.
Okay.
Hawk out.
Gotta pop the flash. Hey Sky, can you flash mid for me? Yeah, I got you. She throws the flash, she never pops it. I swing and I just get done. Hey, you gotta, you gotta pop the flash. Want to try it again, Sky? Alright, that's it. You can flash like high up here, you know what I'm
There,
saying?
no prisoners.
Or like maybe a little further
There.
back like that. Should be good.
Hawk out.
The hunt begins.
Is auto blind? It's all good.
Vision.
Okay. You guys gotta be. So as you can see, some people are just incapable of helping you. It's in these cases where you just say, alright, little Timmy has one hand up his nose and one hand on his mouse. I gotta fly this game solo and just carry. Teamwork is nice, don't get me wrong, and it should be prioritized, but you still need to know how to make plays yourself. Now, I saved this myth last for a reason, and it's you should mute your teammates if they annoy you. Yes, this is true. Please mute anyone who annoys you. Stand up for your ears. They deserve better. When you're playing a ranked game, your goal is to have fun. Valorant is a video game. That should be your main goal, having fun. But now when little Timmy starts talking about how terrible you are, how you're baiting, screaming about how he died, or just making like farting noises, sometimes you're better off just muting them. There's just no point. And I know people who will sit there and just listen to this stuff all game and just let it affect their mental. A good rule of thumb to have is that if a teammate is annoying you, just mute them. What's the point? As a matter of fact, doing this could be a good exercise. Something that a lot of Valorant players struggle with is looking at their minimap. Your minimap provides you a ton of value, even more than your teammates' mics will. Instead of trusting that they're all A call, you can look at your minimap and find out if they're actually all A. If you don't see anyone and your teammates can still see the entrance of their site, then you should sit still and get ready for whatever's next. Your minimap is useful in so many more situations. Clutches, retakes, defaulting. Honestly, muting your teammates is a good thing sometimes. And if your teammates are annoying you, just mute them and save your brain cells. But this was all just one of many in-depth guides that we have on our website though. Also, if you want a chance at having your VOD reviewed, be sure to subscribe on our website at SkillCapped.com. As I mentioned, we also have tons of Radiant Smurf commentaries. We have Radiant players walking through exactly how to have the most impact possible in a bunch of different situations. It's also backed by a rank improvement guarantee, and the reason to do that is because you're just that confident that our service works. And if it doesn't work, then you shouldn't pay. So what are you waiting for? You have nothing to lose. Head on over to SkillCapped.com and get started on your way to that rank that you deserve. So hopefully we debunked a couple tips that you've heard from other people. If you take anything away from this video, have it be that there aren't any hard rules in Valorant, and there are always exceptions to every rule. So take what you learn with a grain of salt. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And that's all for us. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.